Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You are joining me the day after the Strongman Classic at the Royal Albert Hall, and it was just awesome. This is going to be a competition recap. I did film with Nick Vera some behind the scenes stuff yesterday, but that's going to be a big edit. Thought I'd get a recap out because I always like to run down my performances, and it's always good to go through. So I'm going to try and keep it under 20 minutes. My bad if I don't. My voice is really gone, as you can hear, so I don't want to be speaking for ages anyway, so I'm going to really do my best to keep this under 20 minutes, and yeah, cheers for watching and sticking around. So first of all, just a major thanks for anyone who supported me, dropped me a message, came to the show, live stream, people from the gym, anyone who supports me in any way on this awesome strongman journey that I'm on is just so appreciated. And it really means a lot. You know, this show was epic. It was, it's an absolutely prestigious venue, an iconic venue, Royal Albert Hall in London. It's, you know, more than 150 years old, and it's just epic. Loved competing in it, and you can't go wrong competing in a venue like that. I enjoyed every minute of the experience, right from the start, walking in the building, till I left after the VIP meet and greet. And it was just superb. I had all my family there watching, which was great. My lovely Nana got to watch her first ever Strongman show live, which is just so amazing to me, and it was great. And obviously I got to share the whole experience with Emily as well. So it really was just superb. Yeah, pre-show, obviously, you know, we come up the day before and everything. I thought it was great. It's always good with Giants Live. All the other athletes are brilliant. They were really good to, you know, I was more nervous to meet some of those guys than I was to actually compete. You know, I don't really get nervous competing anymore, which is great. But yeah, I was more nervous to meet, you know, people I've watched for a long time on TV, live streams, at these big shows. And then there's me competing with them at the Strongman Classic 2025. So yeah, really crazy to me, but it was really good to share that experience with them. The Giants Live team are always great. You know, you really feel like a professional athlete. It's always a very professional experience from start to finish. And it was just superb. So yeah, you know, make sure you follow along Giants Live. Tune into the live streams on officialstrongman.com and support everything they're doing, because they are doing it absolutely 100% top notch, and always do a good job. I'm sure everyone knows who follows Strongman, who is probably following this channel, that the lineup for this show was absolutely killer. You know, the standards last night were mental, and it was proved by the results. You know, the results saw some of the best times ever on Hercules Hold, consistently across the board. The reps on deadlift were, you know, incredible. The stone run times were mad, and the log ladder was finished by, you know, nearly half the field, which is just crazy. So the standard was absolutely awesome. It was definitely a World's Strongest Man final lineup. And then they chucked me in for good measure as well. So I was really happy to be a part of it. Right, we'll go through the events. As I said, I'm trying to keep this video under 20 minutes, so I will get straight into the events now and how I think I did and how they went for me. So event one was the log ladder, 120 to 180 kilos. I was out first, and obviously there was a long gap between my last warm-up, then the walkout, standing there, rushing around and coming back up. Didn't get to do another warm-up. And I think that kind of kicked me off to a bad start, because warm-ups felt okay, but then that first log just felt awful. I had proper jelly legs. I wasn't necessarily nervous, but I felt sort of stiff and like not ready to go. But no excuses, you know, it's very similar for everyone. Going out first is never easy, but it was very expected. You know, obviously my performance on the log for reps at Brits, 160 kilo for reps there, I did 4, was a far cry from what I did last night. So I know it's within me. It's just one of those things that happens, and it's a learning curve. I actually wouldn't have gained any more points anyway. So I did end up coming dead last on that event, only getting 2 out of the 5 logs. But, you know, so be it. It's a tough start, tough show. But I was happy. I kept my head on my shoulders afterwards. You know, I had my 2-minute sulk, and then it was all about the rest of the events. So yeah, not a great start, but sometimes that happens, especially when overhead is the first event. You can proper go jelly legs, and you need everything to be firing and feeling good. So on to event 2, which was the Hercules Hold, one of the most iconic strongman events in my opinion. I really wanted 60 seconds. I ended up with something like 56 and a half seconds, which got, I can't remember, I think it was like 8th or 9th. I think it might be 9th, which is mental. That would have got me 5th at the World Tour Finals last year. And other shows they've done Hercules Hold in, it probably would have been top 3. So, you can really picture how crazy the standard was. Anyone who watched it obviously will know. But that event was awesome. It's so iconic. It was really, really cool. And I was just, really happy to be doing the Giants Live Hercules Hold in competition and hit a pretty damn good time. And it was a PB time for me. So as much as I wanted the 60-second mark, not complaining. So moving on to event 3, which was the frame carry. So it was no straps and it was 360 kilos. Anyone who knows or used this frame, it knows that it's absolutely savage. It's got long handles running through the middle, so you need to find a balance point. So you need to stagger your hands, and the handles are incredibly thin. So it's really, really tough. And, if your grip's not up to par, it will just show itself massively, which it did for me. I used it up at the Giants Live Yard training for the event a few weeks back, and I worked up to the comp weight, and I knew that I was not going to be able to finish 20 meters with it. But I thought I could get a relatively good distance. My hands didn't tear, which is really good. My skin held up, but I did end up doing a few pickups. I ended up getting 13 meters on the dot out of 20-meter course, and that got something like 8th or 9th again. I think it got 9th. Could have even been 10th, because the top sort of half absolutely flew with it, which is crazy. So it shows me that I need to work on farmer's walks, frame carry with thin handles, and I potentially need to work on my grip endurance as well. But I was pretty happy because I wasn't too taxed after that event, which is what I was worried about. I said to myself I wouldn't do more than 1 repick. I ended up doing about 5, and my body felt fine. So there are some real positives to take away amongst a couple of negatives. But at this stage in the show, I obviously wasn't sat in a very good position. I think I was sat dead last. But, when you're in this kind of lineup, you need to be constantly reminding yourself of where you're at. And, the depth of experience the other guys have compared to me is really vastly different to what I've done. So, I kept reminding myself of that and just made sure I stayed true to what I said before the show, which was that I'm going to stay in my own lane, concentrate on myself, and make sure that I go full send and leave nothing in the tank. Which I feel like I did, so that was good. Event 4 was the axle deadlift for reps. They ended up going with the 350 kilo setup, which was probably a good thing because it was, it's a tough show. It's quite hot in the building. Everyone was sort of suffering by event 4. That's a 2-rep PB for me on that setup because I ended up getting 5 reps, which is really good for me. That's decent, especially that stage in the show. I felt like I definitely should have tried for 6, but the suit pressure by that point was pretty crazy. I couldn't really breathe, and I'm not sure if it would have been worth it. But as I said, my body felt really good before and then after the deadlift, so I'm happy with my sort of competition fitness, if you will. It shows that, it's right up there. That ended up getting joint 7th maybe or 6th. So again, really crazy field of deadlifting. Trey Mitchell took the win with 10 reps there. And there were some other very good results too. A few people joined on 7. Paddy Haynes with 8. And it's, just again shows that strength and depth that we had in the lineup last night. So, that was the deadlift done. That was the 4th event out of 5. And then event 5 was the Atlas Stones, 120 to 200 kilos. This was an amazing way to end. I completed all 5. I did it in 26 and a half seconds, which was a 33-second PB from Britain's Strongest Man earlier in the year, where I did it right on the buzzer. The tacky setup, tape setup that I had felt superb, and I was sticking to the stones really well, and it just all felt great, all clicked, and that was my best performance of the night. That earned me 5th place. And it was an absolute buzz finishing that run. It was brilliant. Great support from the crowd. And I was super, super pumped up after that. So, it was great to finish on a high. Felt like it got better throughout the show, which sometimes happens, you know, sort of grow into the show. But yeah, it was a really, really good way to end. And I always love doing Atlas Stones at Giants Live. It's just such an iconic event. And yeah, great way to finish such a cool show. So that's all the events wrapped up. I ended up coming in 10th place out of 12 athletes, which in terms of, you know, if we look at it from like a placing perspective, it's not great. But it's probably what I would have ended up in regardless of how I performed, even if I had added a few seconds here and a few meters there. I don't think it would have changed much, or maybe it would have jumped up one place. But as I said, the lineup was absolutely crazy. The standard was mental. The results were so impressive. So, you know, that earning me 10th place was all I had to give. But I feel like there's definitely some room in the tank to improve steadily and on some things quite a lot in a short space of time. So it was great to get some exposure on some different events that I haven't done, and good knowing that I've got some more experience going forward to put into practice in these level of shows against this level of lineup. So yeah, all things considered, very, very happy, and I will take 10th place any day of the week at a show like the Royal Albert Hall Strongman Classic. If you're interested in the results of the show, guys, you can obviously go to Giants Live Strongman on Instagram, have a look there. You can catch up with the live stream on demand at officialstrongman.com. Spoiler alert, the podium was very, very impressive. My good friend Paddy Haynes coming in third, absolutely class showing from him. Very, very impressive throughout. Jaco Schoenwinkel in second place from South Africa. Unbelievable performance, big comeback. He had an ACL surgery about a year and a half ago, something like that, and coming back to prove that he's absolutely one of the best in the world. Very, very impressive. And the champion was Evan Singleton, who is now a 7-time Giants Live champ. So those are the kind of people I was up against, as well as the current world's strongest man, Rain O'Neill, who ended up in 4th, and loads of other brilliant athletes who you can go and check out as well, who I had the pleasure of competing with and sharing the stage with, who were absolutely epic. And again, a lot of people that I've followed for years and watched at these high-level shows and have a lot of respect for. So absolutely superb to be a part of that lineup. But big shout out to those guys, and especially the podium, the top 3 who came out on top. So yeah, following on from that, you know, my sort of overview of the whole thing, I was absolutely chuffed to experience the show itself, be in that venue, be part of that lineup, see where I stack up and identify some more weaknesses. And it's just a great stepping stone. You know, it's I've really sort of built my way up through the years and through the ranks. And, you know, these big stepping stones like this show are always going to teach me more than my successes, if you want to put it that way. Because, you know, you gather a lot of data, you get some more experience, and it teaches you a hell of a lot. And not just that, it also gives you hunger for more, you know, which I think is really, really important. You know, making sure that you are hungry to improve, to keep coming back, to keep trying and getting better. And I will have the opportunity to do that in 2 weeks' time, because I have England's Strongest Man, which is up in York. It's on the same weekend as Britain's Strongest Woman, which will be absolutely superb. And I'll be looking for a really good result there. You know, I'm going into that one confident. I've been prepping for that very hard alongside for last night's show. So that's my next opportunity to, you know, put in some serious graft and see where I stack up with the best guys in England. But, you know, I do consider myself now one of the best guys in England, and I'm confident in saying that. So I think England's Strongest Man will be a really interesting show, and I'm looking forward to it very much. That's about all I have to say, to be honest with you. Hopefully I kept it under 20 minutes. We got a really good behind-the-scenes video that I filmed with my friend Nick last night. He came to the show, so thank you, Nick. He'll be editing that over the next few days, and we'll get that out. And that'll give you a real insight to like a behind-the-scenes at such a high-level show. And I probably have a better voice than I do right now. But yeah, it was a really, really cool experience overall. And I will not forget that anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Please keep following the channel, subscribe for more, share it around, give it a like, and keep the support coming. I've got a lot more to come. Obviously, you can keep up with me on Instagram as well, at BLG Strength. And yeah, there's a lot more to come, guys. I will see you soon in the next video.